In April 2003, a 27-year-old engineer was hiking through the Utah desert when a half-ton boulder dislodged, pinning his right arm against the wall of a 3-foot-wide crevice. He was miles from the nearest trail, and no one knew he was there. He was trapped with 600 milliliters of water and a meager collection of gear, including an incredibly cheap multi-tool. He was facing a ticking clock of dehydration and shock. His immediate reaction was an explosion of rage. He spent an hour thrashing his body and screaming into the sandstone, a state of panic that typically exhausts a victim's energy and seals their fate within the first day. This reaction is a feature of our evolution. Inside the brain, a defense system called the amygdala triggers an automatic response to a sudden crisis, preparing the body to fight or flee. But in a physical trap, this mechanism backfires. The amygdala floods the system with cortisol, which interferes with the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for complex thinking and reasoning. In his most desperate moment, his brain was effectively shutting down his ability to solve the problem. Moving a 500-pound rock required more than muscle. Aron's first real task was to override this internal chemical surge to regain the capacity to think clearly. To find a way out, Aron relied on a mental discipline famously practiced by Admiral James Stockdale during his years as a prisoner of war. It requires balancing two opposing truths. You must be brutally honest about the harsh reality of your situation, while simultaneously maintaining a conviction that you will eventually prevail. Aron leaned into the grim reality. He recorded goodbye messages to his parents and sister, and he used his knife to carve his name and his presumed date of death into the canyon wall. But he balanced that darkness with a powerful premonition, a vision of himself playing with a future son. That image gave him a specific, relational purpose to endure the days of cold and thirst. Accepting the very real possibility of his death is what actually saved him. It stopped the panic, providing the calm needed to execute a plan that seemed impossible. He avoided being overwhelmed by focusing on small, tangible successes, an approach often described as eating an elephant one bite at a time. He spent hours fashioning a makeshift seat from his climbing ropes to conserve energy. He meticulously rationed his remaining water, and he built a crude, though ultimately unsuccessful, pulley system to try and shift the boulder. By treating every task as a manageable goal, he prevented his mind from being paralyzed by the terrifying scale of the larger problem. On the 5th day, his plan reached a gruesome conclusion. But his equipment failed him. The knife on his multi-tool was so dull it wouldn't even scratch his skin, let alone cut through his arm. Aron pivoted to a different kind of tool, physics. Using the boulder as a fulcrum, he applied his body weight to his trapped arm like a lever, generating enough torque to snap the radius and ulna bones in his forearm. With the bones broken, he used the dull blade to saw through the remaining muscle and sever the nerve pathways. His escape wasn't a feat of raw strength, but a cold clinical application of engineering principles to his own body. After 6 days trapped, he was finally free, but he was far from safe. He had to perform a one-handed 60-foot rappel and hike 10 kilometers through the desert while bleeding heavily. He was kept alive by his background as an athlete, which allowed his body to withstand the shock, and by the incredible luck of spotting a family of tourists who were able to alert a rescue crew. Today, Aron is nearly 50. He has 2 children, including the son he saw in his vision. He describes the amputation not as a loss, but as the greatest gift he ever received. The experience forced a total reorientation of his life. The man who once sought to conquer Colorado's highest peaks in winter now finds his greatest victories in choosing peace over being right, and in the quiet connection he shares with his family. We don't control what happens to us, only how we respond. By accepting the harsh reality of his situation and focusing on the people he loved, Aron transformed a disaster into a catalyst for a more present, purposeful existence, a way to turn even the most immovable boulders into blessings.